Jaheim, it was certainly great seeing you down in Charleston. You heard, and saw some of the reaction to the model resolution that we're pushing forward on regarding the Eighth Circuit decision and the Voting Rights Act. What was your response to, the resolution? Do you feel as though that's something that you're certainly going to take up down there in North Carolina to introduce to some of the local governments? What was your response to it?
Yes. Something I really just want to highlight about that resolution. If I'm not mistaken, I think you had said it at the training whenever you, introduced it to everyone. But you said something along the lines of, if our community leaders are not, backing the resolution, then that's kind of like a sign that maybe they're not the ones who need to be in office. And
Wow.
I really just like that aspect because it's like the resolution really just gives us a sense of, who do we need supporting us and how can we find that change that we need to see in America.
Daryl. Now, you got to go into that, Daryl. Now, people got to hear what was it you said at the training event at the workshop about the power of this resolution. Go ahead.
Oh, absolutely, Barbara. One of the things with regards to our model resolution, right, is that it doesn't just number one, it's a history lesson. It's going to walk you through the Voting Rights Act and along with the expansions of it and the purpose of it. But even more importantly, one thing that the model resolution does is this. It calls on each local government to actually vote to adopt the resolution to say that, what's happening with the erosion of these rights is wrong. And so the question was posed, if I'm in an area where my county government will not support it, should I still introduce it? And the answer is absolutely yes, because you want to get people on record. You need to know who's on your side and who's against you. You introduce this resolution. If the elected official votes against your interest, you know where they stand, and you know what you need to do to find somebody who's going to support your interests. That's one of the beauties of the resolution, and it's one of the beauties of forcing people in elected office to take a side, to say yes or to say no, and to have consequences to the decision that they make. And Drake, I know you know a thing about that. Tell me where I'm off on that, Drake, because I know you're going to do it up there in Pennsylvania.
Absolutely. Me and Mackenzie and Jalen, we already said that we're going straight to the 3 county commissioners and here in Chester County, and we're going to form a coalition with local black groups. There's the Coastal NAACP, there's the Westchester NAACP, and we're going to go up there and we're going to introduce a resolution. And what really struck me about this resolution is just how strong the language is. I mean, the last part is, whereas we believe that the Eighth Circuit Court's decision is detrimental for our country's democracy and result in the loss of voting rights by many. And then it continues to say, we reject the premise that only the Department of Justice through the Attorney General can file to correct wrongs under the Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act. We believe that this ruling should be reversed. And that's the type of language that we need. Strong language, that's just it doesn't make it confusing. It's really simple. It's either you're down with everybody voting or you're not, right? Either you're for people having the vote or you're not. Either you want to protect the vote and expand the vote or you're not. And we're going to see, hopefully, that our commissioners here in Chester County make the right decision. But don't worry, we will definitely call the TJC to help us get this passed.
All right now, and I want everyone listening to go to tjcoalition.org. TJCOALITION.org, tjcoalition.org, and read the resolution, print it out, and take it to your local government. It could be either your city council, it could be your township commissioners, it could be your county commissioners, it could be whatever governing body. In fact, some state legislatures are talking about introducing it. We want you to right now go to tjcoalition.org and pull down that resolution and take it to your community groups and say, we're going to push for this in our local government to be passed, and get it passed, get it adopted. And the minute it's adopted, then we can take that and we can make sure that they're added to, the amicus brief to be before the courts, saying the Voting Rights Act must be kept strong. And it can only be kept strong if individuals can bring their own private right of action. If somebody runs into your car, you get to sue them. If somebody tries to steal your voting rights, they're telling us that you can't, that you could only hope that somebody in the Department of Justice might think it's worth, fighting for you. Folks, this is why we must do what we have to do as leaders in this fight. And that's why we're asking all of you. You don't have to be a lawyer. You don't have to have a degree. You just got to have I care for me, I care for my people attitude. Get involved in this fight. Right, Daryl?
Absolutely, Barbara. Because what this is about, it's not just about you. It's about the democracy. This is what democracy is about, is being certain that everyone's vote is counted and weighed equally. That's what the Voting Rights Act was all about, being certain that people that differing views were having the opportunity to elect people that could express their concerns. That's why we want you to support this resolution. That's why we want you to take this resolution and take it to your local government body and ask them to pass it. If they won't introduce it, that tells you where they are. If they introduce it and they can't pass it, that tells you who they are.
Woo!
We've got to be certain we get the word out about this resolution. We need to get certain we get the word out about what's happening in Arkansas and that 8th Circuit and why it's so wrong to say that you don't have standing to stand up for your rights. That Barbara Arnwine, one of the greatest voting rights attorneys in the country, couldn't walk into a courtroom in Arkansas to represent herself in a voting rights case, that only the attorney general would be able to do that. Doesn't make sense, folks. It ain't right. It's not American. It's undemocratic. And that's why we have folks like Jaheim and Drake and others that will be out there on the forefront being certain that these issues don't go untested, unheard of, and that they're fully exposed. Jaheim, I didn't mean to throw you out there under the bus like that, but I know that's where you stand. Am I wrong on this?
No, you're definitely not. That's definitely all I stand for. And even on top of that, one of my kind of like personal mission statements that I like to live by is the idea of infiltration and representation. And it's simple. In order to have representation in these spaces that a lot of people of color, and specifically Black people, are not a part of, we have to be willing to, stand up, walk forward, and just infiltrate those spaces so that we can have that change and show the power and magnitude in our voices whenever we do stand together.
Absolutely. And, if people need to want to reach you, Drake, they're hearing this young brother out of Pennsylvania talking. They're hearing about this Lincoln University and what's happening around there. If folks want to reach you to say, hey, I got some issues on my campus with polling places. I've got some issues on my campus with finances. I want to introduce this resolution and walk it through like y'all talking about at Lincoln. How can they reach you?
Absolutely. If you want to get a hold of me, you can email me at Drake, M as in Mary Smith. My mother made my name very easy, Drake M. Smith 02@gmail.com. You can follow me on Twitter at Drake_Smob, Drake_SMOB, or follow me on Instagram at D.Smith9_. Instagram D.Smith9 Instagram. Or if you Google Drake Smith Lincoln University, will come right up. Like I said, Drake, like the rapper, last name Smith.
And I know you want to issue a challenge out there to the Divine Nine, Drake, our brothers and sisters that are out there to get involved in this resolution. Is that right?
Absolutely. We just celebrated our 110th Founders Day for the greatest fraternity on earth. Sorry, Daryl. Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. And one of our core tenets is social action. And I'm just giving this out to all the other brothers and sisters in Divine Nine and actually other black men's organizations, women's organizations, like the Lynx, like the Eastern Stars, like the Masons. Everybody needs to get involved. We need to make a rainbow coalition, if you will. But blue and white's going to be at the top.
And I can't allow us to end the show without saying a couple things. One, we can't wait to see you, Jaheim, and you, Drake, in Phoenix, April the 3rd through the 8th, where we will be there for the HBCU All-Stars. Plus, your colleagues have been writing me about this show, and they want us, Daryl, to be sure to tell everyone to also not only to support the resolution, but to take that personal pledge, the 2024 Voting Rights Pledge. And I know that Jaheim and Drake have signed up for the pledge. How do you get the pledge? You can go to either to our website, tjcoalition.org. But if you want to just go and sign up really quickly for the pledge, you can go to votingrightsalliance.org. votingrightsalliance.org. And they're listening, they're enjoying the two of you, they're having a great time, but they want to make sure that we tell people to sign that pledge. Hundreds have already signed it. We expect more and more to sign it. You can also go to change.org and sign on to the pledge. We are so proud of you two. Keep doing the fight that you're doing. Keep being the leaders you're being. People like to talk about next gen, but what do you guys say you got now? Thank you for your leadership, Daryl.
And in a couple of seconds, Jaheim, could you tell people if they're interested in reaching you, how they can reach you? And I know you're going to put the challenge out to all those that have been involved in the military to be certain they get involved in this resolution as well. How do people reach you, Jaheim?
Yes. So for any professional reach outs, I do have a website with a contact page on there, and that domain for the website is JaheimMcRae.com, and that's JaheimMcRae.com. And if you want to follow me on my Instagram for any informal reach outs, you can follow me at _O-Ja. That's _OHDATSJA. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jaheim. Thank you so much, Drake Smith. Thank you so much, President Dominique Calhoun. Y'all, next Tuesday, Eastern Standard Time, 12 o'clock, we'll see you here on Igniting Change. Peace, everybody.
Peace.
The topics, views, and opinions expressed on the air and via All Igniting Change with Barbara Arnwine, platforms by host Barbara Arnwine Esquire, guests, and supporters are their own and are independent of any organization, entity. Nothing said on the show or any of its platforms constitutes a client-attorney relationship or serves as legal advice counsel. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to Igniting Change, its platforms, or the show's host.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
The 6th Annual Urban One Honors, Best in Black, airs Sunday, February 25th, 8 p.m. Eastern on TV1, with performances by Mary J. Blige, Dionne Warwick, Chloe, Frankie Beverly, Donald Lawrence, and more, with performances by Tiana Taylor, BB Winans, Damon Little, Angie Stone, and still others to be announced. The 6th Annual Urban One Honors, Best in Black, airs Sunday, February 25th, 8 p.m. Eastern on TV1.
WOL Washington, D.C. W240DJ Washington. 95.9 WMMJ HD3 Bethesda. WKYS HD3 Washington. WPRS HD3 Waldorf and worldwide at WOLDCnews.com.
The views and opinions of the following show do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of News Talk 1450 WOL, Radio 1 Incorporated, or their management.